What's so funny?
I saw your dark arts jar. That's the first thing I saw, which is awesome.
I don't usually have that open. You like that?
Yeah, healing, protection, but my eye drew straight to the dark arts.
Dark arts.
Candace is with the shits, y'all. Do not.
He's looking into my apothecary cabinet where you see like all kinds of books on synastry and like herbs and like ashes of my dead dog. There's some dark shit.
That's what's up. That's my next level up. I gotta get my own apothecary and herbology.
There's some good stuff in there. I can make you a mojo.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if y'all know, but Candace gave me a heartwarming gift, and I felt like a preacher or pope. Had that incense smell. It was all like singing hymns and shit.
Church,
like,
you got to bring the church in.
Right.
I'm always talking about how I'm more than happy to bring the occult practices back to the Catholic Church. If I could step foot in a church.
I almost christened the house. I had a sexy Leo lady visit, but we never ended up doing it. But it was almost there.
We can definitely put some mojo in the house. It's funny. I was talking about it. I just got back from New Orleans, and so it's like one of my favorite places ever. And while I was there, I went to the Island Salvation of Botanica, I think that's what it's called, and went down there just to go and give my offerings to the deities and burn some candles and get some mojo going. And I was like, man, I should come back and we should do an episode where I teach Mike how to like dress like candles and make mojo bags or like Mike.
Oh my God, yes. Shout out to Darius Mills. He has a conjure course about dressing candles and like tying them with the planets, and he really helped me look more practically at hoodoo.
Cool.
And like understanding, but like that will be my favorite episode because like I would love to learn how to do all that.
I think it's cool because the hoodoo tradition is basically a derivative of what would be like Vadu or like voodoo that was brought through into the States through the strait from the slaves, and then it was infused with Catholicism, so that way it looked like they were practicing that religion, but really they were
through the saints.
Yeah. So like I'm really big on like a lot of saint petitioning. And
I'm initiated in this craft. I just don't know it. So this is like the best, like my wish come true. I feel like I can. And then what I really want to do, like I want to read consultations for people, and I mastered that. But then I want to be able to be like, oh, okay, you need this mojo bag, you need this, you need to do this with this. That's my real passion. Wait till I start doing that.
My favorite thing is when the I've been doing this for the last couple of years, but when the eclipses come, I start brewing oils. Okay. So I'll make an oil specifically for those eclipses. So like we're just coming out of several years where we've had Cancer and Capricorn eclipses. So I'm starting my eclipse oils actually for Gemini. So it'll be a Mercury oil, and I'll do a road opener oil or an Elegua oil for that, and then. Also, we're going to be having the Sag eclipse, so I can make some Jupiter oil, some Abundance oil, some High John oil, and I have all these planetary oils. So even if the eclipses only come around every 9 years, I have like the mother batch, and then just keep it going. That's so awesome. I've got some fucking fire shit in my cabinet. I'm not gonna lie.
I know you do.
I've got some fire.
Aries moon for sure.
I've got some fire shit. I did some stuff on.
And I heard with the oils, like it retains its strength, so you don't have to keep on.
Yeah.
Conjuring.
So like for me, like I'll make them during eclipses, and I'll infuse them with the herbs and the roots and the crystals and specific oils that coordinate with that energy, and I'll bottle it, and then I'll usually burn wax over it and seal it, and I won't touch it for a period of time before I crack it open, and then I do sell those oils, and I will take the mother batch to cut it just to kind of keep it going until I can make more of them. But yeah, you put some crystals and you put some fucking snake skins and some oils and herbs in a bottle, and
I'm gonna take the How to Be a Brujo course by Candace, and see me be a professional brujo.
We should do that. I still am trying to find that down. Ifa reader because I really want to do that for us.
Shout out to him. Hijo de Zarabanda y Mama Chola, which is Ogun and Yamaya.
When I was at the Like, shout out to I think it's Island of Salvation Botanica. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Like, that is the go-to place. Like, when I go to New Orleans, I go there, I set my intentions, I get my candle, I dress it, I do my whole thing. I've been there like 3 times, and Mommy gets what she asks for every single time she goes there. So yeah, if you're down there, check it out. But definitely working with those energies can be like super magical.
And the thing with stuff like that, I have the mind of a child, so like my attention span is like non-existent, and so like recognizing when your intentions are answered happens to me all the time, and I never notice because like I don't focus.
Imagine if you integrate magic into that. Like, I'm such a psycho, I'll be like, okay, so in 3 months time there is going to be an eclipse on a Friday, and it's going to happen during Venus hour. Like, I have to do everything that day. Like, I will plan according to planetary hours and like certain aspects and like energies in certain moons. And if you know when to draw down that energy, it's so powerful, and it can be so much more powerful than like doing a bunch of like half-ass busted candles throughout the year. Right? And being like, please, like, help me win the lottery or pay my fucking rent. Like, if you do one like super holy shit, like getting jazzed for spirit situation, and you spirit make something like, that's some, I don't know, like, that's real magic. I love that sound.
It is.
It's my favorite sound.
Right. It is a good sound, right? Especially if it's fizzy. One thing that I appreciate about what you just said, though, is I've done magic the wrong way. Like, I've done magic in the most basic way.
There's no wrong way to do magic, though. Magic is intention.
Right. It isn't wrong. And I've done it in the most basic way, and it's worked.
Oh, you're so like, pure-hearted, Mike. You're so pure-hearted.
Thank you. So like, I'm always fascinated. Like, I feel like the difference between Gemini and Virgo and Scorpio is that Gemini will be like, oh, it's a master number, and then Scorpio, like, Gemini will see like a 444 on like the 4th month, but Virgo will be like, oh, it's a 444 on the 4th hour on the 4th day, and then Scorpio's like, it's a 444 on the 4th hour on the 4th day and the 4th second with the 4th, like, y'all be like,
I'm so fucking psychotic. Like, especially when I look at transits, like, I get crazy. Like, I'm that astrologer that will like spin the dial on the outside and like bring it into it. It'll be like, okay, so it'll be 4:37 a.m. and this is when the transit's gonna hit. People are like, I'm gonna be asleep. I'm like, well, you better not be. You better be making that fucking website. Like, don't sleep on the stars.
I used to think y'all were just like reaching or just like going in, but it's like to the second
Vedic
minute.
is like that too. Some Vedic wedding, or I mean, astrologers that will make recommendations for weddings and times that they should get married and stuff. Like, that's no joke.
Which I didn't take seriously until a certain someone's wedding got put on blast, and like. Well, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but like at the time I was like offended. I was like, how are you going to say that about their wedding? And it ended up happening real. So that made me take seriously like event charts and like stuff like that.
I said that recently about Ariana Grande's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yes,
oh
Ariana.
Okay.
Ariana. We were supposed to be a thing. What are you doing, Ariana?
I was talking to my dude about Ariana. I was like, oh, Ariana Grande got married over the weekend. So 2 things. One is I looked at that
Congratulations,
chart. But that's not gonna work. Yeah, Uranus hasn't even transited her Venus yet. It's coming for her. 2, she looks like a low rent. What's his name? Who's the guy with the big dick who she dated on SNL?
I was just about to mention him.
Yeah, so her new man.
I thought they were about to be together forever.
I have a picture of it. Did I take a picture of it? Oh, here we go. How is that not the same man?
Oh my god! Yeah. Same man, different fonts.
More like that's like a low rent version of him.
Yo, that's the same dude.
So what?
What the fuck?
Pete Davidson, that's who it is.
What's his chart? We need to run that.
I don't know, but he's younger than her, and apparently he sells like luxury real estate or something.
You know, Pete's looking at him like, ha.
I mean, but
you know, Pete laughed for a long time.
How many people? She was engaged to him.
Right.
She was with a couple different people, so I don't know. The whole like Pete Davidson thing and like her new husband, I just feel like he looks like a low rent Pete Davidson.
I don't know why I didn't notice that. Like that's blowing my mind how much they resemble each other.
Also, can we just talk about the fact that she has Venus at 20 degrees of Taurus in opposition to Pluto. I mean,
and then she has Uranus and Neptune conjunct at 20, trine her Venus. So yeah, I do. Oh, and then she has Pluto opposite. I didn't notice
and also
that.
Pluto's going to be in polar opposite to Mercury on her descendant.
You're Pluto opposite Venus like me. We're meant for each other. Oh my God, that's crazy.
How many girlfriends do you have? Fuck.
I mean, I've been single my whole life, but
I meant like the celebrity.
Oh, my celebrity girlfriends. Okay, I like to keep one at a time.
Really?
It's my Venus and Taurus. I'm monogamous. Like I like to focus on one person at a time. But my Gemini. That's
not what I've heard.
Well, my Gemini sun makes it so that each time is less than like a day or like 2 weeks.
Okay, so you gotta like rotate them a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Get that variety. I'm renting cars now. Ever since my car accident, I don't drive. So ideal situation. Turo is my new favorite app. And I can just like rent different cars, Uber, and I'm going to wait till I manufacture my own whip until I get a car.
Okay.
But I'll rent until then. Only because I don't believe in paying car insurance. I realize it's a scam.
Yeah, a lot of insurances are scams.
When I got in that car accident, I hit on my insurance and I was paying over $300 a month for, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't get collision coverage, so we can't help you." And it's like, "Well, what am I paying you for?" And they're like, "Well, I'm sorry." And it's like, wow. So that was an eye opener, and it was just
eighth house, wow. Hashtag eighth house problems.
Yes, that was all during my Saturn return. Lesson learned.
Can you like rent one of those little things that people drive around in Vegas in?
Yes, you can.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like
it was on Turo. They had like two. I think I don't know where you really rent them, but whoever owned them, like they had theirs up available.
They're like 2-seaters, right? Mm-hmm. We should rent one.
That'll be fun.
We should rent one and go out with a GoPro.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
That'll be awesome.
Where we go up and down the strip.
That would be awesome.
I'm waiting until like life opens up more and we can do like man on the street and we can start talking to people like on Fremont or walking around Vegas, and maybe you can wear a wizard hat and a cape and we'll just like read cards for people.
Shout out to, was it Showgrow or was it shout out to Planet 13. I went to Planet 13 and I was like, "Oh wow, you don't have a mask on." And she was like, "Oh yeah, technically we're open up for people who are vaccinated, so you don't have to have a mask, but we were told that we're by state," or she said that the CDC holds more power than the state or whatever. So that the CDC told them that they're not allowed to ask people if they've been vaccinated.
As they shouldn't.
Right. But but like you don't have to wear a mask anymore, pretty much. It just depends on what store upholds
I don't wear a mask anyway.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. If I die, I die. You know? I'm at that point right now. I'm like, if I die, I die.
Less than 3% chance of dying, but
I'm pretty healthy. I mean, I'm on day 1 of pescatarianism.
You'd probably be worse off if
much, but
you'd probably have a higher chance of dying if you took the sheep jab or the death jab.
I mean, I just like thought about it. Like at this point, I've been in so many casinos, and I just got back from like a trip cross country, and I was like at gas stations and in a lot of bars. And if I haven't gotten it yet, I mean, what do I have to do? Go out there and like mouth kiss a bunch of hobos?
Basically. I mean, like, and well, see, the hobos aren't dying from it either, so they don't have it. Shit. You would think they were the first ones gone, but they only grew a number.
In the street. They're probably exposed to so much more than we are when you think about it. I'm not saying that they have ideal health, but they might be more exposed to things where they're more used to, you know, fighting stuff off. I don't know.
And their population's only growing, so that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's wild. Ariana, I'm gonna give you a astrology reading one day, and it's gonna be the best, and we could be cool. And yeah,
she's a Cancer, right?
Yeah. She's actually my youngest sister's age, and my youngest sister's a Gemini moon, but she's a Libra moon. So.
Libra moon, air moon, gang.
Yeah, and they're both really great singers. It's interesting how that works. But yeah, I mean, other than how you know, striking in resemblance they are. Shout out to Scorpio and Cancer, great combination. Yeah, the mask rules have finally changed.
I mean, it's crazy to me because so I was driving through, so we went to go visit for a couple of weeks, went on a trip, and we drove through Arizona, and then we drove through Texas, and it's like parts of Texas is like they don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. Like that's Trump's land. Parts of Texas are still Trump's land.
And
so it's
Florida.
like, You go into like some gas stations. Yeah, in Florida, it's true. Ironically, the two states that are rejecting the potential for having a vaccine passport, those are the two states that are like, no. But some places in the South, it's like, what virus?
Right.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking
like,
about?
Especially when I was in New Orleans and like Bourbon Street and stuff, I like had a panic attack. So I was like walking around and I get this alert on my phone. And I look on my phone, no joke. It says, would you like to turn on alerts so you can know if that you've been exposed to the virus? And I was like, absolutely fucking not. And I just put it right back in my purse. I was like,
are people wearing masks on Bourbon Street?
No.
Awesome.
No, it was a shit show.
That is like the biggest super spreader.
I have lots of love for Nola.
I love it.
I mean, I was in restaurants where there was like drunk frat boys that were maskless and eating fried chicken and living their best life.
That's so awesome. The first time I was ever in NOLA was 2019.
I remember the live video you were doing, and there was tits everywhere.
There was tits, yes. I was flashed. I was like, this is it.
It was so funny because I was there, and my boyfriend's like, wait, so they're gonna throw beads? And I'm like, well, yeah, they throw beads all the time, not just Mardi Gras. And so it's like, if you're a big chested girl and you're walking past any of like Bourbon Street where they're up top, they're like, yeah, and like dropping beads and stuff. And you definitely don't see. There are some women that gravity has not been kind to, and I just if you want to show that to the world just to get some 99-cent beads and maybe a shot of rum,
it's worth it.
Get it, bitch. Living your best life.
Definitely.
I get it. You got to get them out before you hit like 37. Like they need to get out and about a little bit. And like I guess the rules change about tits when you're on vacation. At least they do for me. So
what happens there stays there. Or
no,
on
it
Facebook.
Doesn't. That's Vegas.
It stays
and
on
we
Facebook.
Definitely don't stay here.
We stay on Facebook. It's all good.
Okay, all right.
On social media. But I mean, that's really wild because this whole thing started like January 2020, right?
Yep. So
we've moved. Some people were thinking last at least 2 years, but they finally got rid of Trump so they can get rid of the masks, thankfully, and we don't need the virus anymore.
I just what I just don't understand is how are you gonna push vaccines so hard and then not let people wear masks in some places? Like you can't have it both ways.
What do you think about people who are vaccinated but still feel they need to wear the mask?
I know some people like that. Some of those people are my family members.
No.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I'm of the kind of frame of mind. I feel the same way about masks and COVID as I do about trans people, as I do about the gay community, as all of those communities. I'm not discriminating against anyone, but
shout out to LGBTQ.
Just let people do whatever the fuck they want to do. You want to pee in a man's restroom? Do it. You want to wear a mask? Don't wear a mask. Fucking get a dick. Get your what are they called? What are they called again? I'm drawing a blank. Your vaccine, just let people do what they want to do and stay in your own fucking lane. It's not not complicated. And in a way, it's like we're coming out of so many years of division, and now we've got people arguing over whether or not they should be vaccinated, or if it's safe to sit next to them, or if we have to show a vaccine card. Oh, help me! I'm going on a fucking rampage.
That was my philosophy too. Like, if you want a vaccine, it should be readily available for you. If you don't want it, you shouldn't be pressured. And again, it should just be.
I just don't like how some people are being publicly shamed or kind of mistreated or cast aside. Like, I've heard from numerous clients recently in this last week that are like, I feel like I'm kind of getting shit from people because I say that I just don't want to get it, you know? And people who are like, I don't want to argue about whether or not people should get it. I just have made the statement, I don't want to get it. And then they've had a lot of pushback from like friends and family.
You know what's very interesting though? A lot of people who don't believe in conspiracy theories, a lot of people who are like, oh, you're crazy, they don't want the vaccine. They're like, well, I don't believe it's a conspiracy, but I want to wait until other people get it. they won't admit that they don't trust it.
The first control group, I know that.
Technically, life insurance will not pay you out because if you, like, someone died from the COVID vaccine, but because it was an experimental drug, life insurance was like, well, you took that risk.
But are they telling people that when you're getting the vaccine? Like, does somebody sit you down and go, sign this paper, this is an experimental drug?
Right.
No, they're just saying come and get it for free. I don't know.
Or for a free lap dance, or for free food. Like, they're offering free food, free lap dances.
Wait, where are you
free
getting a
everything,
lap dance and a vaccine?
But they're not offering liability for if it kills you. So and they're not offering what you need
to get the lap dance.
Yeah.
Do you have to wear a mask during the lap dance?
Vegas is offering a whole year worth of lap dances for one.
But
vaccine.
Is she gonna wear a mask?
That's a good question.
That's what I want to know. 'Cause I want to see tits and face. I don't want to just see tits and ass. I need
someone became COVID positive after the vaccine.
Yeah, I heard all about it on the fucking, what was it the Yankees? I think it was the Yankees. I got into it also over this, but
I think so.
Yeah, but apparently a bunch of people I think it was the Yankees, we can fact check this, who had been vaccinated and had also previously been infected with COVID, I believe, in some cases, tested positive again post-vaccine for having COVID. Now, they didn't have symptoms, so that's good, right? You have the vaccine, maybe you have COVID, you don't know, you're partying your ass off on a boat somewhere because you can now. Great. So you don't have, this is my frame of mind, you don't have symptoms, but how do you know that the virus is not affecting your body and creating long-term damage? And is it really smart to take a vaccine where it's hiding those symptoms and you can still be someone who can maybe pass that on to somebody who hasn't been vaccinated?
And it's
so why the fuck do we have vaccines? Like,
right, exactly.
Sorry,
and it's unlike any other vaccine. So on the other side, because I think it's hypocritical for people to be like, I know why people are art lashing it, but nothing that's happening now is nothing that hasn't happened. So like when I came back from Nigeria to go back to UTEP, I had to take a DTaP shot. I had to take vaccines just to go back to college. And like I wasn't on any so that's why I will always say I'm not anti-vax, because like I've taken vaccines before.
I'm just talking about this one in particular.
This is the one that those ones didn't have mRNA in them.
Right. And anything that's developed with the name warp speed involved in the formula naming process, I probably don't want to put in my body.
Shout out to 45, because 40, I will never forget the day 45 was like, hey, you bitch ass niggas, if y'all didn't get this vaccine, I'm the reason y'all got this vaccine early. You're fucking welcome. Goodbye. I was like, wow. Okay.
Speaking of Trump.
Right.
Speaking of Trump. I'm fucking crying over here. God damn it. Stop it.
45. 45. Okay. He's rallying again. Shout out to that.
Okay, but that's the thing. So like the eclipse, I just want to get this in here really quick. And I've been talking about this for 6 fucking months, okay? The eclipse is going to be on a conjunct his sun, Uranus in the 10th. Like, if you guys think Trump is long gone, he's fucking coming back hard.
It's just beginning.
Hard in the next couple of months.
Y'all might get 3 terms of Trump instead of just 2. He's like, oh, y'all kicked me out? You're going to get 2 more in 2024. If you look at the World War III wiki, which says World War III will kick off with the Second Korean World War in June of this year, it says that Biden's president and then Trump gets reelected 2024. But that's just a wiki page. And
what?
Right.
That's
crazy.
some fucking shit.
And this was written years ago. This was written like a month ago. And they knew Biden would get elected somehow. So I hope nothing happens in Korea, because now things have already kicked off in the Middle East and it's an ongoing war, but still Mars completing its cycle in Cancer.
It's coming up to opposition with Pluto.
Prominent astrologers knew it would be all out war. And, you know, we're seeing war in Israel. And, you know, people have allies. Biden's cabinet is all Jewish, all from Israel. And you're seeing people side with Palestine. So it's going to get ugly.
They're also asking Israel to stand down. And as of today, it was saying they're not standing down.
And Biden pushed how many millions? So, like, he's fueling this war, which is... it's not Biden's fault. I feel like he's meant to do what he's doing as a Scorpio and as a representative of death and endings and transformations. But one thing that we also have to keep in mind is that similar to Trump, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, who will be your new vice president, I'm telling you that right now, and also, of course, Kamala Harris and Biden, they all are...
They're gunning for it.
They're Sag rising and Gem rising.
Oh, of course.
So the eclipse is going to affect them too.
It's the handoff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's like passing the torch.
I feel like if we do see Biden magically die or step down, it's gonna be Gemini season. 8th house to his sun, and we're gonna see Kamala take the throne. And the devil will be reigning. I say that with respect, okay? I'm pretty sure I could have a very amazing lunch with Kamala Harris. I don't hate this woman. I don't hate Obama.
What sign is she?
They're just both Lucifer. She's a Libra and Obama is Leo, and Leo and Libra are cousins, and Kamala and Obama are cousins, and Obama has Lucifer on his sun, and Kamala has Lucifer on her moon.
You're always like talking about like, you think this is like some like devil shit? You
think
this is some, okay, really? Okay, let's get into this.
It's like spell. So Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, basically, when I say Kamala Harris is the devil, I say that out of utmost respect as an astrologer. That's like, wow, this shit's real. So I remember, have you watched Supernatural?
Yeah, of course.
And you know how Supernatural, Lucifer needs a human vessel,
yeah,
right? And the vessel is your moon,
yeah.
And she has that on her moon, and then her sun is fallen in Libra, and she's an angel, is a Gemini rising. She's a fallen angel with Lucifer on her moon. She's the devil.
You've really thought about this, huh?
And then
so
Biden,
it's like a whole like
conspiracy.
Is it like some Constantine shit? Like, do you think it's like the devil and God made a bet to see how many souls they could get on each side, and like this is the end of times, and that's why the craziest shit's happening? Because
it is the apocalypse. March 2020. We had Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, start their cycle, and all this bullshit started happening. And then Biden and Kamala's composite chart have a 26 degree north node in Cancer conjunct Lucifer opposite this Pluto that's unlocking.
And it's America's
Pluto return. Oh my God. And that's why in the first 100 days, Biden has done everything he can to destroy this country, or at least lead it to there. Of course, that's his job. Thank you for it.
Were you one of those people who was putting gas in a Ziploc bag?
Oh my God.
Okay,
or the assholes getting like the 100 gallons. As long as you forgive my loans, 46, I will pretend that you're not a complete criminal lord. But other than that, if you forgive my loans, I will actually pretend you're a good president, and we can do this. Just forgive my loans, but our loans, but student loans, like you promised. Okay, but other than that, Biden has Lucifer 28 degrees in his chart Libra, where her sun is.
Oh shit!
That's crazy.
It's like a smoke and mirror situation. One person's outshining the other.
She has 29 degrees Lucifer in Aries, and then Kim Kardashian has 29 degrees Lilith.
I know.
And she voted for Kamala over her husband at the time. I don't know how you don't vote for
Poor Kanye. I thought you were like a fucking Kanye like representative.
Who?
Kanye.
Who's the Kanye representative?
You.
I am. That's my dude right there. It hurt my heart that I had to vote for Trump over him. I was so mad. I was like, how dare you, Kanye? I wanted to vote for you, and now you made me vote for Trump over you. Like, that's not fair. But that's still that dude. I will always support Ye. It's not a shame. It makes sense that Kim would vote for her sister Kamala. But like, yeah, I mean, no one's talking about this, and this is relevant as fuck.
I didn't even start looking into all that stuff until you were talking about it.
Right.
I didn't really start looking. I didn't look at some of those fixed stars. I look at maybe like 15 at a time.
Someone had brought it to my attention, and it blew my mind.
Did you hear about Trump's New York City probe investigation turning criminal?
No, but I did hear that he is going on rallies to expose these bitches for the Arizona audit. So maybe that's why they're probing him or whatever.
Well, okay, so apparently it's the Manhattan District Attorney and the New York Attorney General, and they both said that they've been investigating for a while, but now it's turning criminal. So I'm expecting, as a result of the Gemini eclipse next month, maybe Trump's going to try to come out with his, like a media network. I think he's going to definitely try to come back and start doing his rallies. I think he's going to try to get a lot of military people involved.
He already got them.
Rallies.
He got the Patriots. You know he has his own platform now, right? You heard about that?
No.
He has a platform up. It's from the desk of Trump, so it's on his website. He can't get censored. He can't get blocked. He's basically shitting on everybody.
He's rogue, huh?
I love the meme that was like, remember the good old days when you'd wake up and then you'd basically see Trump shit on fake news and pay like
what
12 cents a gallon for gas or some low amount.
I'm looking this up right now.
But he does have his own from the desk of Donald Trump. Like, he can't get censored. He's going off. And I mean, if this is great for CNN because their ratings will go up again, talking shit on him. So
wow.
This is amazing.
I bet you anything somebody else is writing this for him, but no,
I think that's his 10th house Gemini for sure.
This is a fucking novel he's written today.
That's him. That's 100% him. That's Gemini shit.
I will continue to monitor that situation. That looks interesting.
It's definitely active. And I mean, we know he's going through a Saturn opposition to his rising. So he's literally against the world and the mainstream.
Yeah, I believe
Aquarius.
it's 29, so it hasn't even really begun to heat up yet.
You're right.
Yeah, so
That's
it'll
so
really start
true.
to heat up more so in like the next year or two.
That's so true.
He's been married, 3 times? So maybe that's going to be about...
He got a Taurus now. She ain't ever leaving her.
She's going to stay?
I think she's staying
You
fixed.
think she'll stay?
I mean, I don't think she likes him like that, but I think she's faithful like that, and she thinks long term. And when I say I don't think she likes him like that, I've seen the way she's looked at him, and I see that as archetypal. I feel like every Taurus woman is looking at their Gemini man like that.
She's very...
so I think she actually does love him.
Taurus Capricorn.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Capricorn hates Gemini.
Reserved.
Taurus hates Sagittarius. So like there's beef between them, but she's a very loyal woman.
The inconjunct.
Exactly. I think she has real love for him. It's just I think she also has differences with him.
I'm trying to think.
But she's a loyal woman.
What are mine? So Gemini and Virgo. Ironically, the 2 signs that I don't get along with at all. At all. I think the one sign I dislike more on a personal level, this is not my professional, this is my experiences. What is worse than a Gemini is actually a Virgo, and nobody talks about it.
No one talks about that. Well, that's because
Nobody
Virgo is
fucking talks
crafty.
about it.
Where Gemini could be tactless, Virgo is tactful. So it's hard for people to notice that about Virgo, because Virgo knows Gemini doesn't care. What Candace just said is so important, guys, because people don't realize like Virgo is worse than Gemini, and I love Virgo. That's my 5th house.
I love like Virgo is a combination of Gemini and Scorpio. Is Virgo.
Oh yeah, I think Virgo is diet Scorpio, and I mean that out of respect, because Virgo watches out for their health. You feel me? So like Virgo is like Scorpio, but just not like Coke Scorpio. They're like diet Coke Scorpio, and it's like they're freaky too, just not like full Scorpio freaky. You feel me? So I mean that's I feel like Virgo is so jealous of Gemini because Virgo is gonna write like
because Gemini can get away with murder.
Literally.
Yeah, and Virgo.
They're both serial killers. Like Virgo and Gemini show up on the serial killer list, but like Virgo is gonna write that 10-page essay that's super detailed. They're gonna spend $500,000 on that super amazingly programmed game. And then Gemini is going to spend $10 on like a super simple game that gets all the attention.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Gemini is Virgo's 10th house. They're like, why are you getting this attention and you're not saying shit? Like I'm saying the real shit, but people are paying attention to you. And Virgo is so jealous of Gemini because they have the right to be. It's like, wow, like I do more work than you, but you get more attention because you say dumb shit that appeals to everybody. And Virgo hates Gemini for that reason. I swear to God. It's amazing.
So this is good that we're talking about this. I'm gonna skip that. But I want to talk a little bit about the astrology that's going on in the next week. So,
epic. Even in fact, I feel like what we're doing now is epic because, regardless of date, like, what do you feel about 29 degrees Taurus Sun about to be 0 degrees square, 0 degrees Jupiter, and the moon is like 0, 1 degrees Virgo right now?
I definitely feel the 29 degrees of Taurus.
That's
like
my
in the
Mercury, by the way.
So you're super chatty today, huh?
Yeah.
I'll let you have more of the mic then. But in the last 48 hours, I had king crab, a lot of it, and I bought a bunch of stuff at Sephora online, and then I treated myself to a facial and a massage. So it's definitely Taurus season in its full effect. Living my best life.
Opposite your Pluto.
It's been like that the whole last month. Lots of power struggles. It's been real fucking fun, let me tell you.
Word.
But I've been liking like Mercury and Venus hovering around the North Node because I think it's been really great for like important conversations. Lots of communicating, expressing, talking, making plans. Lots of good stuff with relationships and business. What I'm really looking at is a couple things. One is the sun is coming into a close conjunction with the North Node, and also this eclipse that we're going to have at 5 degrees of Sagittarius, the full moon eclipse on the 26th in a couple days. And that is at 5 of Sag, and at the time it's squaring Jupiter. So I feel like big events are going to start taking place, or not necessarily life-changing, right? Because Jupiter is going to magnify the fact that we need to be flexible, we need to change, we need to expand in the mutable signs. But I think there's going to be a boom in travel. I think there's going to be a boom in stuff that's going on with culture stuff and international business or the legal system. And then shortly after that eclipse that we're going to have, and we can get more into that if you want, we're going to have the sun conjunct the North Node in Gemini, and that's going to be really strong May 30th.
Which you said was going to be on Trump's North Node. The
eclipse that's coming in next month in Gemini is going to be conjunct his natal sun Uranus, I believe. And that's an interesting eclipse too. We'll do something on that because I really want to get into that, and I'm sure we'll both do stuff on our channels. But that day of the eclipse, Mercury is retrograde because you meet the sun.
And Mars is 29 degrees.
Mars is 29 degrees. So the end of May, and it's always like this in eclipse season. When you're in between eclipses, lots of things change, like doors open and close, big events happen. But this one's huge because we're going to see Mars come out of its opposition with Pluto, Mercury conjunct the sun, retrograde, some information being brought out that we weren't aware of. Like, I wouldn't put it past Trump to come out and like try to make a very big statement and really out a lot of people.
The Arizona audits have extended towards Milwaukee or other places. I don't know if Milwaukee counts, but like, I'm going to make a prediction here. By the time this date happens, because the apocalypse cycle was 23 degrees Mars in Capricorn. So by this point, Mars will be exactly opposite. By this date, within a month, you're going to hear a major nation declare war on another nation.
You're talking about the Mars-Pluto opposition? For sure. It's probably going to be involving Israel. I bet you.
Oh, absolutely.
I bet you that's... I don't like saying that, but... I saw somebody in one of my astro communities that was posting actually the chart for Israel, and I think it's like a later degree Libra rising. I want to say it's between 17 and maybe 28 degrees. So you've got the Mars Pluto opposition between the 4th and the 10th house, and that's some gnarly stuff.
And if you think that the allies to Israel versus those who aren't allies will let you know how the world war will kick off. And America, shout out to Stefan Arnio, rest in peace. He died last year, around a month ago. He wrote a book called Hard Times Create Strong Men. And he spoke of the 80-year cycle in America of how, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. And that 80-year cycle since World War II is 2020. And so we're about to enter a civil war.
Sounds like Uranus transit.
It is, yeah.
Because it's like 77 years or so, right?
When he said that, I was thinking it equated to a planet transit, so it's Uranus.
It is, because it's not Neptune. Neptune's
like 100 or something, right? That's what's up.
Very interesting. I mean, it's hard to...
And we had an economic crash the last time it was there.
It's hard to imagine, like, Neptune going into Aries isn't going to produce some kind of a war. It's hard to imagine that... some of the squares that are happening too. That's something else I put in here is, all of these planets that are gathering around 20 to 24 degrees of Gemini are coming into squares with Neptune, which is deception, conflict, misleading information, false media, lies, gossip, slander, lots of manipulated data, information, documents, images. Things that are mistranslated or misspoken.
Speculation.
So, there's some shit, because that on top of like the retrograde sun conjunction, more information is actually going to come out.
More information from the previous years too that are finally made sense of, right? Things adding up, and you're realizing they don't add up from information you were told last year. These are going to create riots. These are going to, and then Derek Chauvin wants to appeal the case.
There's so much stuff to be said also about the fact that, from my perspective, mutable signs aren't only their job isn't only to be flexible and changeable, but a lot of it has to do with active listening skills.
Yeah.
Because you've got some really heavy mercurial signs in that bunch, and you've got, Sag, and you've got Pisces. There's this conversation between Mercury and Neptune and Jupiter where you need to be really aware of who is passing along that message, and what is the tone, and where did it come from, and has it changed or been misheard or manipulated. So active listening skills, kids. Lots and lots of that is necessary in the next month.
And it still won't be enough.
No, it's gonna be like the telephone game.
Right.
It's gonna be a lot of like every single time the story is passed on, it's manipulated a little bit.
Deliberately.
Yeah.
Willingly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to be a very amazing catalyst. I think Gemini is really awesome catalyst energy. And I know for me, Gemini is my second house. So last year, I implemented a promotion strategy that got me paid. So I can't wait for this year. And last year was the riots. So I can't wait for this year because Gemini is a mutable sign of change. And what happened last year changed everything.
Right.
So, I mean, it's going to be
stronger. And now with Jupiter
in
Pisces.
Oh, my God.
I mean, magnification of some things. There's a lot of squares going on right now to Jupiter, which can be overly optimistic, overly exposed, overly positive, too. There can be a lot of good things that can happen as a result of that square. Just more.
Misleading analytics, like a lot of the over-optimism could be based on factual data that doesn't come to pass just because Pisces is a fucking troll. So like,
and Uranus is moving to 12 degrees here soon too. So there's a lot of kind of Pisces.
You said to what degree?
12. Uranus is moving to a 12.
When does the 13-degree square happen?
Mid-June. I think it's going to be, it's right around the eclipse. So he's referencing the Saturn-Uranus square, right? That's what you're asking?
I remember last year, Gemini season, people were like, hey, we need our Gemini season back because this shit took away our birthday. Cancer season, it's your turn. Oh my God.
The square is June 17th.
I want you to think about how extraordinary last year's news was that blew your mind. I feel like this year is going to just blow it out the park.
What do you mean news? You mean like what happened with
the mandates? Yeah, the mandates, like the events, everything that was orchestrated.
Stuff's coming back. Like I heard they're having they're going to have like Lollapalooza this summer. Like people are starting to like book events and booking.
Well, Trump's out of office, so all this bullshit doesn't need to be here anymore. So like, all right, we can go back to normal. We got the racists out of office. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. Biden is our savior, clearly. He had dead people vote for him. He single-handedly got rid of the virus. Really, like that. I was wrong about him. That's that dude right there. He might forgive the loans.
12th house Scorpio. It's some gangster shit.
Straight up underworld. And I mean, hey, if that's how you do it, that's how you do it. I'm just waiting for Kamala to be our president so we can have her.
Can you imagine her and what's her name?
Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah,
Nancy Pelosi. My fucking God. And they're both, Aries moons? I forgot where her moon
I don't know.
is.
I don't remember Nancy's stuff. I haven't seen it in a while.
No, Nancy's a Scorpio moon in the 12th house, Sag rising, so she's hiding secrets. She's an Aries
having lunch with Hillary.
Right, straight up. The cabal. Right.
She's drinking little kids' bloods.
Oh, my God. Right? That's why she hates Trump, because Trump is her open enemy, 7th house Gemini. So, like, you know, he blasting her. But, I mean, the scariest thing that can happen is Kamala Pelosi presidency, which they've been planning forever. But this is what the country needs. The country needs to, like, die in this disgraceful way during its...
Oh, my God. So you put it on 2 women? What the fuck?
Well, no. Let's not reflect this on women, because there are capable women who can run this country, all right?
Just not those ones?
Just not those ones. And hold on, and Kamala Harris is one of the most powerful women in the whole world. Like, that opposition at 27, like, she's very powerful.
Nancy Pelosi doesn't fuck around either.
No, she don't. No, 12th house Scorpio moon, like, she's very strong. I mean, she's been in her position for how long? So
wow.
Her and Hillary, they're not playing around. Like, these people will get you killed. But other than that, you know, they have a job to kill the nation, and you know, you can't. Jesus didn't stop Judas, so we can't stop them. But
Jesus loved him anyway. Right. He knew he would betray him.
Yeah, that's true. Don't you got to do something, Judas? Is it? You're having too much fun at this Last Supper right here.
So, what do you think is going to happen as a result of the eclipse? How are you doing with this? Because you have all that gem in your chart. I guess the big one's next month. Mm-hmm. That's the big one that's coming. To
be honest, so the one this month to next month, I see as a 2-week portal. And during that 2 weeks, everything's going to change. So, like, I'm feeling everything in me is like, everything I'm doing is obsolete. Because something is going to come into my life that changes everything. So, like, if I was feeling this urge to, like, put out videos. And I'm like, dude, you're going to get a studio where you're going to have to redo every video you do. So I'm getting heavily to just chill because, like, the world that I'm putting this into is obsolete. It's, like, not going to exist.
Yeah.
And I think people are not really aware of the fact that the world they're in is dead. And on top of that, there's a huge change that's going to change things even more.
I don't know what it is about these Gemini Sag eclipses. Maybe it's because it's my midpoints. But I remember like breathing a sigh of relief, being like, "Oh, we're not having eclipses in Capricorn in Cancer anymore," because I have like maybe like 6 planets between those two signs. So I was like over it. And then the Gemini Sag eclipses rolled in last year, and I was like, I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be... Those eclipses kicked my ass. They were more active than the ones that I had that were conjunct natal planets. And I think it's the midpoints. Don't sleep on midpoints.
Oh, that's so true.
The eclipse that we
and
had...
the square to Neptune.
Last summer prompted a huge change in my life. And then the eclipse that we had the end of last year prompted me, like, moving. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, These eclipses aren't really fucking around.
And they're immutable signs. So to put context to why this will change your whole life, just like she just said, the past 2 eclipses we had changed everything. For the world. Everything.
And these eclipses are in aspect to Saturn in one way or another. There is a slight sextile. And then we've got the other eclipse that's going to be happening. That's going to be an aspect to Saturn. I mean, it's just there's a lot of change coming from these eclipses.
The government got away with resetting our whole economy in a year, and we let them do it. So
the government or the world?
The world.
The world.
The world, yeah. Or the world government.
Jesus.
Or whatever. Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. Well, not all of us did. And, I mean, I don't want to frame this as if any of this is a bad thing, because things are meant to happen as they should. But, buckle up, because a lot of people were complaining about how bad things are, and that was the prelude. Like, it's starting this year.
Well,
if you think things are crazy.
Some of the most important transits are the ones happening literally the next 2 weeks. So from the end of May to about mid-June,
right,
next to the pileup of Aquarius planets that we had at one point in February. This is now building off of that, because everything that was kind of starting up or breaking down, or where there was some friction happening in February, those planets in Aquarius, now that we're in Gemini season, it's like, now it's go time. Now we're actually not going to just talk about it. It's going to start physically manifesting and physically happening. And we're going to see the other side of a coin. So a lot of people are going to find that there is like a fork in the road in the next month or two. There's a second option, second person, second choice. There's something that comes to light, or some information.
Whose word are you going to believe? Because all the discrepancies from last year will be all answered Gemini season. And you're going to have the truth come out. And you're going to have to make a decision. Yeah. Do I trust what the mainstream said, or do I trust what this independent source is saying that has facts? Because it's going to divide people more. The truth is coming out, my friends, because now we have the stability of Aquarius to, with knowledge, actually add up who's right or wrong. This is going to be intense. And this is definitely going to challenge a whole lot of, because of the time that's elapsed, it's going to reveal so much motives. And I mean, we're going to understand the true deception of Pisces. Pisces is, I think, one of the greatest zodiac signs. It's the highest level. It's every sign kind of, as far as like understanding it. And Pisces is divinity. So the dark side of divinity is total deception. And so I'm saying everything as if it's going, like, I can confidently tell you that if you thought 2020 was horrible, 2021, 2022 is going to be worse. It's not going to look like that, though. Biden's in office now.
It's going to be under the haze of Neptune.
The economy is greater. We have no masks anymore. We're finally out again. It's not going to feel like it. It's probably going to feel like the best summer ever, but just no fuckery is afoot. And deception.
And when Jupiter comes back into Aquarius, we're going to start to see, because Jupiter's taking a nice little couple months stroll into Pisces, but it'll come back into Aquarius and
unveil what was hidden and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The whistleblowers. Shout out to the whistleblowers. Trying to prepare.
Am I making things up, or was there something about Snowden recently?
I didn't read what happened, but I heard about something happening.
Something supposedly happened recently, right?
I think he was warning against something, or because he's giving pertinent messages, but I'm not exactly. I just remember seeing a recent headline with Snowden. I just don't know exactly what that was. but he has been warning a lot against it, and it's amazing. Like Trump, a lot of people are criticizing Trump for not pardoning Julian Assange, but like Trump pardoning Julian Assange is not going to help Julian Assange if he's not in office. Like, he's only gonna, I think it was better that he pardoned Kodak and Lil Wayne, because that's a more practical.
But didn't he help get what's his face out, that Joker, his friend who was involved in Watergate?
I heard about it, but I didn't.
He didn't pardon him?
I think he did pardon him.
He did, right?
Yeah, I know he got criticized for it, but I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
God.
I think he did pardon him.
I'm gonna keep an eye on Trump stuff, though.
And that's another thing. Like, my support of Trump, a lot of people, I don't consider myself a Trump supporter. Like, I when I voted, I didn't vote as a Republican. I voted as a non-party affiliate. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I support Trump. It's weird, but like, right.
You just support chaos, huh?
I support Geminis, really. I co-sign Geminis
because I see the world burn.
I see how y'all. I do actually. The reason why I was so into at first, before I even looked at his chart, at first, because I wasn't into politics. I was like, fuck politics. Obama lied to us, so like, I don't believe in it anymore. So like, I was like, I didn't care about Trump. I didn't care about anything. But the reason why I like Trump is because so many people hated him. So seeing that, I was like, this is the guy that's going to spark change, because so many people who don't care about politics care about it. So I was there for that. If Trump was a fucking racist, I still supported that, because he was the catalyst for change. Like, that's all I wanted.
Yeah, well, I mean, the world's going to do what the world's going to do to create change and flush out. I mean, there needs to be polarity. I'm not saying I agree or condone any of his behavior, but
exactly,
just sweeping it under the rug. I mean, people act like America wasn't racist before Trump.
Exactly.
Trump just opened that window to give us a small glimpse into how some people really do treat minorities and what is wrong with America.
And also exposed how, you know, the stereotypes against Republicans being racist is not really founded, because in uncovering those stereotypes, I realized that a lot of it is just media bullshit. But when I take these stances, people assume that I think that racism doesn't exist. And it's like, what y'all don't understand is if Trump is a redneck racist, I'm still going to support him, because he is inspiring you to do something about it. That's all I cared. Like, I want to back the catalyst.
Racist presidents in the past, so but,
right, all of them. So like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not looking for the goody two shoes. I'm looking for someone whose presence is going to spark change, and that's the initial reason why I supported him. And then I saw his chart, and I'm like, oh, he's for the people. Like, he's actually genuine.
He's just like a mad hatter. I don't know how else.
Uranus on the sun. That's facts.
He's like
that's
the
facts.
crazy
the
king.
Disruptor.
Yeah, the shit disturber.
Yep, and the exposer of truth. And that's exactly what he did. I made a video 2016 predicting this before he got elected. And I was like, honestly, I think Hillary's going to win. But Trump's chart says he's going to win. And he won. So, like, it is what it is. I don't want to make this about Trump. But Trump is very important about what's happening now. Because with his Regulus impact and his connection with the world, his decisions over the next 6 months will impact the world. Even if indirectly, because there's 70 million people who voted for him who aren't listening to Biden. And you're going to see the media desperately putting in investigations, trying to undermine what he says, because they're terrified about perception about what he says. And they're going to expose a lot that they could have exposed before, but they just needed more time.
It's interesting that they're still trying to censor him.
Exactly.
You know, it makes me even start to wonder, is kind of, I don't know, like,
if he really is full of shit, you don't have to censor him that much, because you can just basically let your truth shine. But clearly, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's raising eyebrows. And as a Gemini man, I've seen them do this to Kanye. So that's why I know what they're doing to Trump. It's full of shit. So it is.
Maybe they're somewhere like drinking and playing golf together.
Dragon energy.
Yeah, so much dragon energy.
Kanye's a Draco, by the way. Shout out to Alyssa Sharp, her system. He's one of us. So Eastern Kingdom.
Mike was explaining that to me earlier. It seems very interesting. Now I can go down the rabbit hole of like all of that stuff and see what it means.
It's awesome.
Well, I'm glad we got to chat a little bit about what's going on
and unmasking Gemini season.
Unmasking Gemini season. It's like Scooby Doo. I was saying that in one of my other videos. I was like, all these like squares to Neptune is going to be the Scooby Doo moment where we see who the real villain is. So stay tuned for that.
It was Hillary.
It was though. It's always her.
And Epstein, damn. That's crazy.
They're off probably hanging out together.
Right.
Okay, well, stay tuned for more of our episodes. If you like this, please give us a like, a comment, or a share. Check out our links, check out our shop, check out all of our stuff below. Book a reading, leave a comment, say hello, and support our podcast if you guys can. We have an anchor link if you want to help contribute to the beer fund. Until next time, we will see all of you guys very soon. Take care.